Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the webinar series on Let's Learn TV. Today, we're having another episode of our soft skills series, and we'll be talking about something that is absolutely important and necessary at this time. My name is Teresa Ode, and I'll be your anchor for this section. So today we'll be talking about something that is absolutely necessary at this time for everyone, irrespective of your career goals or your aspiration or wherever you are. And what we'll be talking about today is presentation skills. Presentation is something that we can't run away from. It's something we always need to do. And I'm super excited because we have an amazing guest with us today. She's a public speaker, a trainer, a coach, a writing and public speaking coach, a presentation coach, and we're super delighted to have Miss Mutiat Olagoke as our guest for this particular episode. You're welcome, Miss Mutiat.
Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, Teresa. I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you once again.
The honor, the pleasure is all mine.
Thank you everyone for joining us. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll be going right into today's section, and Ms. Mutiat will be taking us on an amazing time. Do enjoy, and please call your friends who are not yet here so they can also join in on this section today. So Ms. Mutiat, you can please take the floor.
Thank you. Okay, so hi everyone. Welcome to another session with me. I'm always excited to have these classes because, like Mr. Exa said, these are skills that you need to be successful, whether it's in your business or it's in your career or even in school. And today we're talking about presentation skills, effective presentation skills, and what you need to know to give effective presentation so that the presentation will be, what's the word now, lit and dope. And the thing about presentation is that the new normal has definitely brought presentation into, it has made presentation a very, very, very important part of our lives, particularly because most of our classes and the trainings are now mostly online. And then we're on YouTube, and a lot of people are here making videos, making money, and it has been that to your bosses or just pitching your businesses and your products and services to your customers or potential clients. Presentation is now like everywhere now. And so it is more than ever, it is important that everyone understands it. And that's what we're going to talk about, how to be effective at it. What are the things you need to learn to give effective speech presentation? But first, what's the what of it? Public speaking, the what of it is to first understand that presentation skills are part of public speaking skills. And so we need to start by understanding what public speaking itself is. And the truth is just a simple definition. Public speaking is communicating information to an audience. That's it. There's no long quoting of one scholar or the other. Public speaking is the art of communicating information to an audience, which is what you will be doing when you're doing your presentation skills. Public speaking can happen in a classroom, it can happen in the workplace and public places. Public speaking does involve speaking aloud, but it's also about using critical thinking, listening, and non-verbal skills. Even though your voice is the primary way of getting the message across, to truly be effective in public speaking, you need other things to put together. The critical thinking in coming up with the ideas you will be sharing, the listening skills. You may be doing the talking, but a great deal of listening must happen if you're going to be effective at it. You need to understand your audience and listen to the way they listen so that you are able to actually pass a message across in a way they can understand you without distorting your message. And then there are non-verbal cues that are very, 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 very important. So what is public speaking is a soft skill that requires excellent communication skills, enthusiasm, and the ability to engage with an audience. Public speakers make presentation to a group of people. So that's it. And we are going to talk about those presentations. Presentations range from speaking to a small group of employees to presenting to a large audience at a national conference or an event. It could be a very big wedding or just a small meeting in your office. The same skill sets and ability to comfortable speak in public are, are required regardless of big group. So how do you have in order that? The first one is confidence. The first effective presentation skill set that you need to develop is self-confidence. You need confidence. You actually need confidence for practically everything in life, particularly for public speaking, because public speaking is one of the biggest phobias in the world. A lot of people are afraid of public speaking. And when you ask them, the fears are mostly just in their heads. Okay, so maybe some people have done it and they have failed at it, and others are just afraid of failing at it. So you need a great deal of confidence because it takes a degree of bragado to be able to stand in front of people and influence them. You need to be kingly in your confidence. You need to be royalty. Carry yourself like a boss. So you need to practice, you need to develop confidence if you really want to be a good public speaker, and to show it on stage with confidence. You can show your passion and use to connect to your audience. When you're comfortable in your own skin, it is a lot easier to connect with your audience because it is hard to be relaxed and be yourself when you're nervous. Confidence allows public speakers to speak with clarity. And when you're calm and focused, you can manage your thoughts better. A lot of people, when they start their speech, they actually forget everything they practiced because they are nervous. So the first skill to develop is confidence, because confidence also helps speakers speak slowly so that they are understood and they answer questions. They answer their audience's questions like a pro. Sometimes people will say, oh, so what if I forget or they ask me a question I don't know? Nobody's going to ask you a question you don't know. Trust me. If they will ask you, they are going to tell you, I know this is not what you talked about. They will tell you, they will give you a sign that I'm about to ask you a question you didn't tell us about. And then you can always tell them, please, can you see me at the back so that you don't disgrace yourself if you have no answer? I'm never afraid to tell people, I have no idea. It takes a great deal of confidence to be able to say that. The next skill set you need for effective presentation skill is content. Content is your speech, and it is why your audience is there. Your content, you need to be able to write a good speech. You need to be able to write a speech that meets the expectation of your audience. Focus on your audience needs when you're developing your content. That's the most important thing. Your audience is king. Your audience need meeting their expectation is very, very important if you want to wow them. You can have all the confidence in the world. Give the most passionate speech. If your content does not serve the audience needs, it doesn't meet their expectation, people will still go and say, that guy, he can talk, but I don't know, something just didn't work. You don't want to be that kind of presenter. Your presentation needs to be built around what your audience is going to get out of the speech. See, a lot of times people get it wrong, and that's what some of the mistakes that we make. You think the speech is about you. No, you are just a container carrying the message. It is not about you. It's like somebody came to visit you in your house and is serving you food. You are the one who cooked it. It is your house. It is everything. But the food is not for you. Give it to the visitor. In fact, you are so about how to to impress the visitor. And that's exactly how you need to start thinking about your audience and your speech. Your presentation entirely. It has to be on a beautiful plate. But here's the thing, the irony of it, or the what we call to relate it to content. The food you are serving your audience, that's your content. I have a great number of things I'm allergic to. No matter how beautiful you present the food to me, I am not going to eat a bowl of watermelon and pineapple, or anything that has cinnamon. Because the last time I did, especially with cinnamon, I ate this delicious giz dodo. I almost died. So the next time I see giz dodo or I can smell cinnamon, I'm going to say thank you, I don't want. That's the same thing that will happen if you have an amazing presentation put together, but the content does not serve your audience need. It is not built around your audience and their expectations. So content is king. Content is important, or most importantly, the content must be prepared to meet your audience needs. As you prepare your presentation, you always need to bear in mind what the audience needs and want to know, not what you can tell them. There are a lot of things I can tell you in this presentation, but I have to think, what's the most important thing for you that you can start using now that will help your speech get better? And that's the list we're having. The next thing, the next skill set you need to build is connection. Connection. You need to work on your rapport with the audience. A great speech is a speech where the audience feel like, I love this person. I feel like he's talking to me. Because the speaker was able to connect with them. And that will happen if you have written a speech with content that meets the audience need, with words that touches them and they can relate to it. For time and again, the great presenters say that the most important thing is to connect with your audience. You will not meet a good public speaker who will tell you you are the most important person in the room. No, the most important person in the room is your audience. They're the king, they're the visitor, you're serving. You are the carrier of the message. You are important because without you, there's no message. However, what do you do with the message without the audience? Now, the way you give the audience to the audience the message, now that's the connection. It's like a wire. How great. You need to learn to build great connection. A lot of the speeches, your longest speech will just be 1 hour. How can you be able to build rapport with your audience in 1 hour? That's something you need to start thinking about, because it is the best way to do that. And one of the ways to build rapport is to let your passion show. I'm passionate about presentation skills. I'm talking with my hands, I'm talking with my face, my voice is saying that I love this. My enthusiasm is showing, my passion is showing. Another thing is to speak the language of the audience. It doesn't make any sense for you to start speaking your local dialect in a room of people who don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense for you to start speaking big English because, they must know that I went to school. It is not about you. It's not about you. It's not about the school you went to. It's about the message and the people you want to give the message to. If you speak big English and they don't understand, we have just wasted all of our time. So speak the language of the audience. Use slang. Don't come and be saying work to my father or his friends. He doesn't understand what work is. According to him, work is the opposite of weak. So use the language the audience understands. Just because you understand it doesn't mean that your audience understands it. So you will need to understand your audience very, very well. And don't go like, you mean you people don't know what work is? Oh, God, ignoring people. Don't offend your audience. That's a quick way. That's a quick way to lose connection. A very quick way. And a lot of people do it. Use examples that your audience can relate with. Don't tell us stories of how you were enjoying your life in Sydney and how there's one lake in Stockholm that you go to. Please, my brother, we have never gone to the airport before. Can you use an example a Lagosian can understand? And if you're a Lagosian talking in Kaduna, use examples that Kaduna people can understand. Don't come and say, in Lagos, in Lagos. By the third time you say in Lagos, your audience is tired of you. So you are losing connection. And then you must be enthusiastic. You must also be honest. Don't come and say, I miss you, just say I should make, and then you start making up stories. I beg you in the name of God. Honesty is the best policy for a speaker. Even if you are supposed to come and talk about goals at work that you were supposed to have smashed, don't come and lie. Say the truth. Because here's the truth. The people listening to you, they already have their expectations and their own ideas. Some of them would have even done their own investigation. So if you put all those lies there, and then Google is our friend, you get in trouble, you lose connection, you lose trust. If you are able to do all of these things, you will be able to have your audience respond to you positively. So think about it. The next thing, the next skill that is important, and this is, can we call this a skill? Yes, it is a skill, particularly for Nigerians and our penchant for overdoing everything. We're loud, we're big, we're extra. The next thing you must do for effective presentation is to keep it simple. Keep it simple. I said no big grammar. Neither should it be big, you know, big your slide is all over the place, there are colors everywhere, there's so many words, and Nigerians, oh God, well done, we like to put too many words on the slide. Like, I know everything people want to talk about, everything they want to talk about in their presentation, they put it on the slide, so much so that the audience cannot even see what's on the slide because the fonts are too small, the slides are too crowded. No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that at all. I read a lot of public speakers, a lot of popular authors telling people, you should make it 10 slides. It should not be more than 10 slides. And these are very popular people, a lot of people follow. I don't agree. I don't agree. It's a slideshow. And it is important that your audience see it because the slide is for them. So if you need to say things, don't say because Mr. Kiwasaki said we should only have 10 slides. You now put the things that should be on 50 slides, you now put it on 10 slides. And why on earth do you want to have 50 slides? Is it that you are teaching a course? You're talking for just an hour. Your speech, your entire speech, I think a lot of people think that when they are writing their speech, it means they are making their slide. So your slide is equal to the speech you're writing. It is not so. The slide is just to put the most important things that will help your audience visualize what you're talking about. You might as well even there are speeches you should do without slides. So keep it simple, keep the language simple, keep the content simple, keep everything simple so that planning will be easy. Concentrate on your core message. Don't come and be teaching us the audience. Yes, I will be the same person that will tell you who no. So you should never assume that your audience know. But it doesn't mean that you need to come and be teaching them from the scratch like they are babies and you want to say everything. You want to say everything in 1 hour. It is not possible. People teach what you're about to talk about in 4 years. How do you want to teach everything in an hour? So focus on one small message. The most important question you must ask yourself is, what is the key message for my audience to take away? In fact, in public speaking circle, a lot of experts believe that you only owe your audience 3 points. Every other thing is extra. Every other thing is Java. They won't even remember half of it 1 hour later. The next thing you must also learn to do in order to give effective presentation is to smile. You need to learn to smile. Unless you are coordinating a burial ceremony, why are you frowning? No, I don't understand why. Say, I must be serious. People must take me serious. No, people will take you serious when you make sense. But you need to build rapport, and nobody builds rapport franking. I think that's the word they use, to frank your face. You don't have to frown your face to be taken seriously. In fact, you need to understand that when you get off your chair, when you're being introduced and you get off your chair, your presentation has started and people have started judging you, whether they can relate to you. And nobody relates to a frowning person except somebody who needs help And I know there are some people who say, that sister, she just always smile, frowning. But those people, they'll be 2 out of 100. And there's something wrong with those people. They're probably hungry or their model of the world is upside down. Everybody loves a good smile. Not just a good one, a sincere smile. And you know the good thing about smiling is that it actually does more for you than it does for the rapport. It does good for the rapport, but it actually helps you too. When you smile, the face, the muscles and everything here sends a message to your brain that everything is fine. She's smiling, so everything has to be fine. So for those of us that are always nervous at the beginning of our speech, smile. It will tell your brain to calm down. Guy, calm down. She's smiling. So yeah, calm down. Another thing smile does is that it really makes your voice sound well. It makes it sound good. It adds a certain nice quality to your voice. That's why you like my voice. I've been smiling all through. It is a strategy. It is a strategy. Another thing is not just smile alone. Make eye contact too. I once was in a class where somebody said, if you're afraid to look at your audience, look above their heads, find a spot at the back and look at it. You're going to look like a zombie if you do that. You remember that the first thing we talked about is confidence. You need the confidence to look people in the eye. Yoruba people will say, Ojulorowa, which literally means the thought is in the eyes. Look at your audience. Now, I know sometimes you may look at people and some people will do their face like this as if they are hungry or they have constipation. It is not your fault, though. Don't think they are frowning because you're doing anything wrong. So people just like frowning. And let me tell you the truth. If you smile at that person long enough, their face will break into a smile because a smile actually generates what they call the mirror neurons. So you see, smiling is powerful. This sounds very easy, but it's surprisingly a large number of people fail at smiling well and making eye contact, but they're very, very important in building rapport. The next thing that you need to do is to start strongly. So you get to stage, you smile at people. You don't want to start like, so today I want to just, no, please. You're not my geography teacher in SS2. You need to talk like a boss. That's what, start strongly. Now you can start strongly with a banger of an introduction. Write an introduction that will get their attention. And please, for God's sake, your introduction shouldn't be 20 minutes of your 1 hour. No, it's just an introduction, it's just a start. And it should not be, when I say introduction, I don't mean introducing yourself. I meant introduction as in your introduction, your speech introduction, introducing the point and the topic. Don't come and now spend 20 hours saying, my name is Mutiat, I was born in Ofa, we now went to Kotangua in Niger State, they now move us. That's unnecessary, particularly if the MC has already introduced you. I like to introduce myself because a lot of times people will say, well, welcome Miss Mutiat Adegoke, and my name is Olagut. And secondly, I just like to say, hi, my name is Mutiat, and I begin because the great way to build rapport, then I will start. It could be a story, it could be a quote. A lot of times I prefer to use a question that gets the audience attention, because most times when you start, the audience may have listened to somebody and they're still thinking about that person. Questions are a great way to get people's attention. Storytelling will get them. It's another great way. People love stories. People love stories. And that's the next thing, stories. Another you need to master. Storytelling is a skill. It's a skill you must build if you want to give effective presentation. Because the human brain is wired for storytelling. You will find that the majority of the content for influencing behaviors in the holy books, all the holy books have amazing stories. Why? Why did God feel the need to tell us stories? Because he has wired us to love stories. Stories are part of our humanness. We pass on legacies, we pass on, we just pass on a piece of ourselves through stories. And so human beings are programmed to respond to stories. And you as a public speaker or a wannabe presenter you need to master the art of storytelling. If you're not so great at it, if you tell boring stories, you may need to take a class. Stories help us to pay attention. People will start pay attention to story. Why do they do that? And a lot of time they are waiting for, so now what now happen? What now happen? What now happen? You grabbed all of their attention, and that's what you need. And if you tell a great story, you will also build amazing rapport, and people can say, "Oh, I can relate to that. Oh my God, that exactly happened to me," and they are yours. The audience are eating from your palm. Stories, if you can use stories in your presentation, your audience is more likely to engage and to remember your point afterward. People can forget everything. Maya Angelou said that people will remember. They will forget what you said. They will forget a lot of things, but they will remember how you make them feel. And one of the best ways to make people feel emotions is telling great stories. How do you use stories in your presentation? It is a good idea to start with a story, but there's a wider point too. You need your presentation to act like a story. So one of the things I always do is to write my presentation like I'm telling the story from start to finish, so that there's a flow. There's a flow, and my audience can be like, until we get to the end. Then use your voice. The next thing, the next skill, and this is a skill. Use your voice effectively. I find people with the most amazing voices who are terrible public speakers. It is saddening me. It's very sad. I find these people amazing voices. So I used to have somebody in my class who has a very husky voice. And I love husky voices because they are the most powerful voices in the room. And then she came to class and said, I don't know what to do with my voice. Every time I talk, people say I'm talking like a man. I say, who are those people? You have an amazing voice. You have a voice that can be used effectively without many efforts. Some of us with all this girly voice, it is when I'm making presentation, informative presentation like this, my voice works. But there are some persuasive speeches that my voice will not carry weight for. Why? Because the voice is nice. It sounds nice. But when you have a deep voice, like, and everybody just pays attention, like you say, hello, and everybody pays attention. Those are the most powerful voices. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't know. So whether your voice is high, it is husky, it is thin, whatever type of voice you have, all voices can work. Some people say, oh, my voice, I don't know it to work. It can. You just need to learn to use it effectively. The spoken word is actually a pretty inefficient means of communication because it uses only one of your five senses. It uses just your voice. However, that's why a lot of times the speakers would have, so it uses your voice and your audience listen with their ears. So because you're listening, it's just one, it's not enough. That's why we're having visual aids with the slides. That's why your body language is part of the deal. And then you also need to use storytelling to make your audience skin, just to give them goose pimples of a time they thought they have forgotten, or something that really makes them feel good. So you are able to use your voice and your content, your stories to actually help your audience feel with not just their ears, but their eyes, their every part of them, if possible. They can't smell it though. Let's hope they can't smell anything, because it will be a terrible thing if they can smell anything. And then talking of letting people feel body language. Now, body language is a big deal. In fact, the way that we know that people are not confident with their speeches is through their body languages. So some people will be looking at the floor, some people will be scratching something, some people will stand like one tree that is about to die from something. People just have the way they carry their body with so much awkwardness. And it's easy to see that you are not confident or you are not relaxed because please, body language is more than 70% of your speech. In fact, it is believed to be about 80%. Non-verbal communication is 80% of your speech. So yes, you are talking. Remember that because you are talking and people are using their ears, it's not enough. It's not enough. You need to make people feel things. You need to make people see things. And they are looking. So where do they look? They can't look at your tongue, so they look at your body, and then what they see is somebody who is lame. And they just make conclusions by themselves. Oh, there's something wrong with this person. Maybe he has one disease. Are you sure? I've been in speeches where people will be pinching themselves to say, are you sure this speaker is normal? Are you sure this guy is not going to faint? You don't want to be that kind of speaker, because those kind of comments actually distract the audience from what you're talking about, and you can't have that at all. Otherwise, your message will be lost. So make sure that you are giving the right messages with your body language to avoid things like crossing your arm, because this to some people mean, what's doing this one? Why is she talking to us as if he's our boss? You need to also avoid putting your hands at the back. A lot of times that just means you're nervous. Put your hands in your pocket. It can be seen as arrogant by some people. Pacing. Some people just be going up and down like they're doing cultural dance in primary school. You're not a pendulum. Move. Yes, you need to move, but move methodically. I always say move with the length, the size of the audience. But you see some people, they just say, maybe they say we should be moving. They go to one side, come to one side, come to one side, come to one side. You're just going to faint. So just move gently. And if it's a small audience, there's no need to move. Just stay one place and ensure that you have the eagle eye view for the entire place. This is the next one, and this one is key in order for you to be able to achieve the body language and all of that. Breathe, relax, breathe, and enjoy the speech. When you are enjoying it, your enthusiasm will show, and your audience will enjoy it too. But when you are nervous, everybody in the audience is nervous too. At least 90% of them are, because they are wondering, hey. So you don't want to do that to your audience. You need to relax. So what's the worst where we learned that the audience will laugh at you? Really? Even if I'm turning in my data right on my bed to watch it, why would I want to waste my data to listen to somebody that would not do well? I want you to do well. At least 95% of the audience wants you to do well. You see the other, actually 97.5%. The other 2% that may have one beef or the other for you, those people, they have problem. They need help. It's their village people. It has nothing to do with you. Some of them may just hate you because somebody said something. Some of them may just be hungry. It has nothing to do with you. So relax. Take a deep breath. There's something we call there's a breathing exercise we also do. You could read about it. Public speakers learn to use their breath. You will learn to use your breath as you're learning to use your voice box. It is important that you breathe, and you're not breathing into the microphone like, and everybody can hear you. Just relax. If you don't, you're going to mess all the hard work you put into preparing and talking of hard work. The last, but definitely not the least, and this is a skill. I call it a skill, and I recognize it as a skill because after 5 years of teaching people public speaking, I've come to realize that a lot of people do not know how to practice. The last skill you must learn to do public speaking well or to give effective presentation is to practice. You cannot practice enough. I practice. Before this class that I teach every day, I still had to practice. I still had to read a few literature. I still had to, so I have a slide on effective presentation skill, but I still decided, you know what, I want to take it to this angle because I have a different audience on YouTube today. So I took my old slide and I just started from a new one. And I had to practice the new one in order for me to be able to do it well. So you're never too good to practice. In fact, the best people at anything are people who don't take practice for granted. So practice is an effective presentation skill that you must take seriously. Don't say, is it not me? Chibai say, this speech that I gave 2 years ago, I will roll out of bed and go and give it. No. Even if all you have to do is go through your notes, again, please do. But what you need to actually learn to do to practice is to the best way is to do your presentation, do a rehearsal of your presentation in front of people. So you could ask your spouse or your partner or your friends to sit down and listen to you. I always find that very effective because people actually see some of the things that I don't see. My mom, when I was younger, used to correct the way I pronounce words when I'm practicing in front of her. And when I have people, they can tell me, oh, you're gesticulating too much, you're squeezing your face too much. These days, I have a mirror over here in here that I actually use to practice. So practicing in front of a mirror would help you, particularly if you live with people that are not very supportive of what you do, or they'll be making jest of you, or they are not taking you seriously. Practice in front of the mirror and watch yourself, watch the way your face is, watch the way your body language is. You could also practice using your phone. All of us have camera phone now. What do you do with your camera phone? Just selfie? Please use it to upgrade your skill. Do a video of you presenting, please. I have 1 minute videos that I post on Instagram almost every week. Sometimes I will do 20 versions of it before I finally say, you know what, I'll close my eyes and just pick one. I will do a practice run, then I will do the official run. And that's even me, that is an expert public speaker, much less you trying to be better at it. So practice, practice, practice. In public speaking, practice doesn't make perfect at once. It actually makes progress over and over and over and over and over until you're perfect at it. In conclusion, effective presentation skills are valuable life skills that you need. You need it, you need them. You will even find them relevant for not just presentation skills alone, for not just your presentations alone. You will find them relevant in your personal life, in your communication with other people, and even in things that are things that are not about communication at all, like confidence. You can apply confidence in every area of your life. Practice, you need practice for every skill you want to be good at, etc, etc. So I urge you to use this list and develop them, and hopefully I can even guarantee you that with consistent practice and use of this information, you will definitely get better at giving effective presentation skills. Thank you for listening. I wish you all the best. Thank you for listening.
Wow. How many of you laughed at several points in the course of Ms. Mutiat's presentation? I mean, there's no time that I listen to you that I don't end up laughing at several points. Honestly, because I absolutely enjoy every time, I get to speak with you here because...
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I learned something new. I enjoy the conversation. Even when I come in tired, I still find a way to, I just get sucked into what you're saying, that I forget that I'm even tired. And I believe so many of our viewers also have this experience. Okay, so I will take a quick commercial break before we come back and wrap up this section. Thank you, guys, and please don't go, just hang in. We'll be done in a few minutes. I want us to take this quick commercial break. guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. And just as I already said, I'm certain you enjoyed our conversation with Ms. Mutiat. I mean, one of the things that stood out for me as she was speaking is the fact that we should relax. I know she asked us that, who taught us that our audience, are waiting for us to just flop so they can laugh. And really, that really stood out for me, because sometimes you are just so nervous because and the people you are speaking to are also nervous, just as she said. And I think it's just so profound that we always remember to relax. So if you have a presentation, don't forget to relax and practice, 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 just as she said. I mean, if our guest speaker practices this much, then the rest of us, we need to, we need to also do the same. Okay, so thank you once again for joining this episode. Don't forget to please subscribe to Let's Learn TV. I'm sure you don't want to miss any of the amazing things we have in store. So please subscribe and click on the bell button just beside the subscribe button. That is to give you notifications whenever we go live. So thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much, Ms. Mutiat, for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And thank you so much. Okay. So I want to thank special thanks to our sponsors for this particular program, that is STEMacademy.io. Please do well to check us out online. We have a lot of amazing packages that will get you started on, an innovative career in STEM. And also thanks to Brainiac's Innovation Hub, which is the epicenter of innovation. And thank you to our super amazing audience that makes, you guys are the ones that make this show keep going on. And we want to thank you for always joining us. And do well to check out for the next amazing things that we'll be bringing your way. Have an amazing week, and bye, everyone.